There are only two true powerhouse consoles that push the limits of visually stunning, photorealistic AAA games in the living room: the PlayStation and the Xbox. PlayStation has been a household name for over 20 years, and today we're going to find out why the Xbox will always be in second place. The PlayStation was born of a failed partnership with Nintendo near the end of the Super NES days, and throughout the 90s, it was the leader in graphics and games, even next to the behemoth, the Nintendo 64. When the PS2 launched in 2000, it secured Sony's console as the place to game. Graphics never looked better, and the support for the PS2 put one in almost every gamer's home. The PS2 was entertaining gamers for 2 solid years when Microsoft announced that they were joining the console market. The Xbox was not welcomed with open arms, coming from the company known for normalizing the home PC with Windows and Office software. We're going to look at the PlayStation versus the Xbox under 3 criteria. Number 1, power. Number 2, the top 10 exclusive games on offer. And 3, sales. We'll start with the PS2 in March of 2000 for $299. It sold 155 million units during its life cycle. It had a 300 MHz processor, 32 megabytes of RAM, and 150 MHz graphics synthesizer. The PS2 also doubled as a DVD player, but it was the variety of games that made the PS2 so successful. The top 10 exclusives on the PlayStation 2 were Gran Turismo 4, Sly Cooper and the Thieves Raconis, Akomi, Katamari Damacy, Ratchet & Clank, Up Your Arsenal, Kingdom Hearts, Jak 3, Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, Shadow of the Colossus, and God of War 2. The Xbox debuted 2 years after the PS2, in March 2002. It sold only 24 million compared to PS2 at 155 million. For every Xbox in the gamers' homes, there were 6 PS2s across the planet. The Xbox processor was 733 MHz, over double the power of the PS2. 64 megabytes of RAM put the Xbox at double the memory of their competitor. The same carried to the graphics driver at 233 MHz, next to the PS2's 150. The Xbox was successful, but more power did not translate into more sales. The top 10 exclusives on the original Xbox were MechAssault, Crimson Skies, Project Gotham Racing 2, Fable, Chronicles of Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay, Ninja Gaiden, Halo Combat Evolved, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, Halo 2, and Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. Xbox had some powerhouse games that didn't translate into more sales of the console over the reign of the PS2. In fact, the top 10 exclusives on the Xbox platform slightly outperformed the PS2 exclusives by 2.4%. But the sheer number of PS2s dominating TVs put Sony's console on the throne. The PS2 and original Xbox enjoyed success for the first half of the 2000s. Microsoft was not going to be late to the party this time. They announced the Xbox 360 and released it in November of 2005, just 3 years after unleashing the original Xbox. The PS2 was still successfully flying off of shelves. The Xbox 360 launched for $399 and sold 84 million consoles during the 8-year life cycle. The Xbox 360 had a 3.2 GHz CPU, over 4 times faster than the original Xbox. It had 512 megabytes of RAM, 8 times more than the Xbox, and a graphics driver with 500 MHz, doubling the graphics power. Xbox enjoyed the success of the Halo series, but the 360 had an inconsistent variety of exclusives. The 360 peaked with Left 4 Dead, Perfect Dark Zero, Fable 2, Crackdown, Mass Effect, Saints Row, Forza 2, Gears of War 2, Gears of War, and Halo 3. The PS3 was ready for 2006 in November, a year after the Xbox 360 was established, for a heart-stopping price of $599. The PS3 sold 80 million consoles in its 7-year life cycle. It touted a 3.2 GHz CPU, jumping processing tenfold from the PS2. 256 megabytes of RAM, a quadruple upgrade, and a graphics engine of 550 MHz, increasing graphics power 5 times from the PS2. The Xbox 360 had double the RAM, but the PS3 and 360 were nearly identical in power. The PS3 came with a Blu-ray drive, which partially was responsible for that $600 price tag, but the PS3 promised everything the PS2 was, and more. And that $599 price tag didn't stop gamers from adding the PS3 to their home, especially when the price dropped to the Xbox 360 price point. The PS3 enjoyed incredible graphics and incredible exclusives. The top 10 exclusives were Gran Turismo 5, God of War 3, Uncharted 3, Uncharted 2, The Last of Us, MotorStorm, Metal Gear Solid 4, Uncharted Drake's Fortune, Resistance, and Killzone 2. Sales were neck and neck for the Xbox 360 and the PS3, and the games library ran in favor of the PS3 with more exclusives and an overall aggregate score in the top 10 games of 90.2% over the 360's 88.5%, beating Xbox by a mere 1.7%. Still, the Xbox 360 outsold the PS3 by only 4 million consoles. But all of that was about to change. Both Sony and Microsoft knew the other was ready to unleash a predecessor to their highly successful Generation 7 consoles. When it was time to unveil Microsoft's new console, the Xbox team had a broad scope in mind that largely ignored the hardcore gamer audience. Microsoft pushed an all-inclusive family room entertainment machine with Kinect, a product deemed a failure in promise, and a name that made no sense to anyone but a few executives that thought they were marketing experts: the Xbox One at $500. The Xbox One had a 1.75 GHz processor with 8 cores, compared to the Xbox 360's tri-core Xenon CPU, an upgrade of 512 megabytes of RAM to 8 gigabytes, and a boost in graphics power of over 1.5 times the Xbox 360 to 853 megahertz or 1.3 teraflops. But part of that power boost was reserved for the Kinect and the TV functions. The Xbox One had a strong first-party launch, but soon came to a crawl 4 years into the generation. Pointing at the current generation, ranging from 2013 to 2017, Xbox has the following top 10 selling exclusives: Rise Son of Rome, Dead Rising 3, Forza 6, Forza 5, Forza Horizon 3, Titanfall, Gears of War 4, Halo: The Master Chief Collection, Gears of War Ultimate, and Halo 5. Sony's approach to the next generation was simple: make the PS3, but more powerful. Seeing the blunder of the Xbox One reveal, Sony quickly dropped the bundled camera and any idea of a digital console free of DRM. All Sony had to do was beat the price of the Xbox One and promise not to do any of the things the Xbox One was already being criticized for. The PS4 launched for $399. It had 1.6 GHz of processing speed and 8 GB of GDDR5 RAM and an upgrade to 911 MHz of graphics power or 1.84 teraflops. Nothing was holding the PS4 back from delivering a clear and honest 1080p resolution for next-gen bustling with HD TVs in nearly every home. The PS4 was slow to build on exclusives, but floored gamers in 2016 and 2017 with a massive offering of first and third-party console exclusives. The top 10 selling exclusives were Ratchet & Clank, Bloodborne, Drive Club, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Infamous Second Son, Killzone Shadowfall, Horizon Zero Dawn, Uncharted Nathan Drake Collection, The Last of Us Remaster, and Uncharted 4. Comparing the current generation exclusives, the Xbox One aggregate scores hit 81.6% compared to the PS4 at 84.4%, pushing the PlayStation as usual 2 to 3% above Xbox in games. But the PS4 generally has double the amount of console exclusive games over the Xbox One. Exclusive games, more power, and a no-nonsense approach pushed PS4 not only ahead of the Xbox One, but further ahead of what Sony could have expected. Currently, the Xbox One is sitting at around 32 to 35 million sold based off of sales segregated by country, but Microsoft stopped reporting numbers on the Xbox One a long time ago. The PS4 has reached 65 million consoles sold, hoping to hit 70 million by the end of 2017. The Xbox One is just behind the pace of the 360 4 years in at 35 million consoles compared to 40 million 360s. But the PS3 was at only 22 million sold 4 years into the generation. But the PS4 has nearly tripled that pace to 65 million consoles. Microsoft has always provided a quality, outstanding console with power and great games. But a few mishaps along the way have made the Xbox an uphill battle against a reigning PlayStation brand. Gamers as far back as the 90s will always remember the PlayStation delivering a consistent, game-fueled console over the past 20 years. The brand loyalty of Sony's PlayStation is an unstoppable force because the name is so popular, with the reputation and hardware to back it up. Now with the PS4 Pro in the market alongside the Xbox One X, both console companies have an upgraded Generation 8 machine. The Xbox One X fixes nearly all of the issues that plagued the Xbox One in 2013, but the PS4 train has left the station and isn't slowing down until the PS5 in 2019 or 2020. The Xbox is in no way a failure. In fact, it is on track to be nearly as successful as the Xbox 360, and that's all that matters to Xbox owners. Each console must be successful enough to gain support from third-party developers, and the Xbox One has some work to do. The greatest benefit to Xbox owners is the extra features and services being offered to make up for sales being well behind the PS4. This holiday in 2017, the Xbox and PS4 both saw massive holiday sales with $200 base consoles and the adoption of the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X. We are entering the sweet spot of the console generation when the developers really understand how to squeeze the power out of the hardware, and we will be seeing some of the most beautiful and hopefully some of the most fun games. Sales don't matter unless the console loses that critical support from third-party studios, and from the looks of it, both the PlayStation and the Xbox are going to be around for a long time. This is Colteastwood. Thank you so much for watching. If this is your first time here and you liked what you saw, show it by rating the video. If you want to see what's coming, subscribe for more. I try to get quality content like this every week. We all have our bias or our preference, and it'll be interesting to see how the comment section shakes out. I have a clear and upfront preference for the Xbox platform, and it interests me above all others. But working on this video, I really understood how powerful the PlayStation brand is, not merely by bandwagon, but because Sony has the games and the quality to back it up. But if Xbox is your gaming home, and that's where your friends are, let me know in the comments section. In fact, add me on Xbox Live at Colteastwood. I'm on Twitter at Colteastwood as well. Thanks again, especially those that have supported this channel over the past couple years. Have a great week, gamers, and I'll see you soon.